Do you guys remember this viral foundation that broke the internet? Well, we're back again. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be reviewing yet another viral foundation from Danessa Myricks. Now, do we all remember the Yummy Skin foundation literally broke the internet? Like every single person was like, you need this, it's amazing, it's life-changing, you need to buy this. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how many reviews, and they were just transformative, and it was very exciting, and then I bought it and I hated it. For me, it just emphasized texture. It didn't sit smoothly on my skin. I found that I got really shiny with it. Overall, it was basically pretty much a fail for me. Well, this here is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Foundation, and it's essentially a liquid serum version of the original Yummy Skin, and apparently it's groundbreaking and life-changing. I am very curious to try this out on my skin. I'm very curious to see what the results are like, and I'm very curious to see whether or not this one is actually worth all of the hype, because this one was not. Now let's just quickly go through some of the claims for this foundation, and I will let you guys know I purchased this with my own money. Now the thing that makes this one really interesting is it's actually backed by a whole heap of clinical results and clinical claims. It's supposed to be a lightweight hybrid foundation that's formulated with a lot of skincare ingredients that are known to balance hydration and moisture while protecting skin with free radical fighting antioxidants, medium buildable coverage, liquid formula, radiant finish. So it's meant to be good for dry, oily, combo, normal, acne-prone, sensitive, and mature skin types, and it's the clinical claims that are very interesting. So during a 6-hour wear test, this is meant to boost your skin's hydration level by 36%. That's insane. There's also a heap of like other claims here. 80% of subjects showed an immediate improvement in pore size. So not only is this meant to give you a really beautiful dewy radiant finish and make your skin super hydrated, it's also meant to minimize pore size. I'll be honest, I am all kinds of interested to try this on my face and see how it actually goes. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, that I detested, absolutely hated the original, it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Now, the actual packaging of this is really, really cool. And these are actually sold as refillables, which I also think is really cool. But it's like a squeezy tube. You've got your shade name on the bottom here. You unscrew the lid and it's like a little squeeze top. Squeeze the size of the bottles and it comes out like that. Like, I actually think this is ingenious. I really like how they've done the packaging of this. Now, I've got the shade 7N. I did purchase this online, but I think maybe it's going to be slightly too pale for me. So we will need to do a little bit of correcting with bronzer and things later on. But let's just see what the actual formula is like. Ooh, okay. It's got the same scent as the original Danessa Myricks foundation does. It almost smells like tea tree. It's like a really interesting kind of tea tree. I will say straight up off the bat, this looks beautiful on the skin when you first apply it. Like as a first impression, like look how pretty that looks. Definitely completely the wrong color. I actually really feel like my face at the minute is a little bit more tanned than my neck. So I actually may be able to get this to work. We'll mix in some bronzers and some things like that later on and like we'll sort the shade out. So try not to focus on that too much. But this is insanely glowy. It is insanely dewy. Like this is giving off like a reflective shine on my skin like I have not seen in a long time from a foundation. It is like very skincare-y, but it's definitely medium coverage. I'm finding it to be quite a buildable formula and it is blending out quite easily. So there's definitely sort of nothing for me to say there. I feel like I had a lot of trouble blending out the original Balm foundation. Like it just was patchy and it wouldn't spread. I don't know. I couldn't get it to work. This is blending out a lot easier. What I do also quite like about this formula and working it into the skin is it seems quite easy to sheer out. So if you wanted to wear this one more of like a tinted moisturizer type style as opposed to, you know, a medium coverage product, it does actually sheer out in a really pretty way and it's quite like flattering on the skin when it's sheared out, like a tinted moisturizer but nicer. My pores do look smaller. I definitely feel like it actually has helped minimize my pore size, which is impressive. I cannot believe how glowy this is on the skin, you guys. Like I don't think I have ever seen a foundation give my skin this much glow. This is like mirror finish reflectiveness. Like, have you ever seen my skin look this glowy? Whoa. Here's a little zoomed in view so that you can see exactly what I am talking about. Look at the reflection. You can really see it through the T-zone of my nose here. You can really see the reflection on the skin. It almost looks like I have spritzed my face with a really, really like super hydrating, super glowy finishing spray. Look at my knows? I don't know. I mean, obviously we're just going to see how this goes today, but I don't know. I do feel like it has minimized the appearance of my pores on like the cheek areas of my face, but I do feel like in some ways it's almost given me more texture around my mouth that I'm not normally used to. It's just so ridiculous. I can't look away. Like, my face is so ridiculously glowy. What I will quickly do now is jump off camera and apply the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back and show you what it is looking like and we can start our wear test. But like, this is glow on another level. Like, I have never seen my skin look like this. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. We're gonna find out. But like, wow. Also, I will say, I feel like the color has actually oxidized. I feel like it is looking less scary than it looked originally. Coverage is great. Glow is intense. Let's do the rest of my makeup and we'll see what we look like after that. All right, so we are back with the rest of my makeup on, and honestly, things are still looking really, really, really nice on my skin. So I've still definitely got that dewy glow, that dewy sort of natural radiant finish to the skin, but with everything else powdered down, and I will say it's looking a lot better now that I've got a little bit of color back in my face. Can we all agree on that? But even though, you know, it's powdered down and it doesn't feel sticky, it's still somehow dewy and glowy. Like, I don't like this is a magical formula, honestly. I have never come across a foundation, and I've probably said it a million times in this video already, I've never come across a foundation that looks this dewy and this glowy on the skin. Like, I'm honestly shocked. Things are still looking quite smooth. I'm not noticing any major settling or anything. Let me zoom you in. So this is what it is looking like up close. Very dewy, very glowy, very smoothing. I feel like it's still definitely minimized, you know, my enlarged pores and my texture, and things aren't, like, nothing is emphasized, but somehow it's still glowy, which my skin normally it does not look good on me. This actually looks good. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see how this wears and how this goes during the day, but I will say, straight up as a first impression, this is looking really nice. I feel like by this point with the original formula, I was already like, this is starting to look like a hot mess. This is not going to go down well. So already, I feel like this is already beating this. That could change rapidly though. I may do my next check-in and I may look like a hot mess. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I will say, first application, I'm quite impressed. Okay guys, 4-hour check-in. Wanted to come up and I'll let you know how my skin is looking and how things are going. To be honest, not as bad as what I kind of thought it would be. Certainly nowhere near as bad as it was with this. When I look up close in a mirror, yeah, it has settled quite bad on my forehead. Oh no. Okay, it looks way worse when I look up close. I've got texture around my mouth. I've got texture on my top lip. It's mostly like my jawline here. From a distance, so I'm probably maybe half a meter away from my mirror. From a distance, it literally looks perfect, but when you're up close like this, not so much. I guess it's the trade-off for that level of glowiness, isn't it? Okay, so as we can see, we've got settling on my forehead up here. It's just started to settle into my fine lines, and it's definitely split and caked up in those fine lines, which is not what we want to be seeing. Cheeks look absolutely amazing. So here and here, I feel like the skin looks literally perfect, and it's still like it's glowy, but it's a nice level of glowy. It's not like, oh, that looks hideous. Hopefully the camera's going to pick it up. Come on, 4K, do us justice. But there's a fair bit of texture on my top lip here, and there's a fair bit sort of around my jawline here, on my chin, and up my jawline here. Like I said, from a distance, she cute. Like, it does look really glowy, really nice from a distance. It's just those up close and personal, you know, shots, and you're just like, I don't know if I can do this. We're 4 hours in. We've got another 4 hours to go. I will obviously continue wearing this and I will let you guys know. But looking at my skin now, it's not the best that I have ever seen. Like I said earlier, it's not as bad as it was with this. And this may be the trade-off that we get for having such an intensely glowy, hydrating sort of looking foundation. But it's not my favorite. Okay, guys, we are back with our final check-in. We are only 8 hours down wearing this formulation. And unfortunately, this level of shine and this level of oil for me is a little bit too much. I will say, as the oils, you know, have come through in the last, I feel like it got really bad in like maybe the last 3 hours. And I will say it's actually sort of helped settle down the cakiness that we were seeing, the separation that we were seeing, and that real sort of texture that was forming around my jaw. Like right now, I just look incredibly glowy, incredibly dewy, incredibly shiny. But for me, it's just a little too much. I am going to demonstrate touching this up on camera so that you guys can see how it actually touches up and how that goes. But I feel like for me, this is going to be a candidate for mixing. I feel like this particular formulation for my skin type is just too dewy and too glowy. And I think that as a result, my skin kind of rejects it. But however, mixing with some of my more mattifying foundations, I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see. So we'll be trying that. Here is a little look at my skin up close. See how that oil coming through has sort of settled down, that texture and that cakiness that we were getting around the mouth there. Even my forehead, like it was quite settled and it was really sort of sitting in those fine lines. I've got quite a couple of like fine lines across my forehead and it was just sitting in those and it was just really not looking cute. It's like the oils come through and it's really settled that down. I feel like my cheeks still look really good. But yeah, we are obviously incredibly shiny. Like look at my skin here on the side of my nose, like insanely shiny. Let's do a little blotting paper test to see how this goes. Mop up and blot up any excess oils here. There is obviously, there is quite a lot. Also, as a result, we are seeing quite a bit of transfer of the foundation off my nose there. So you're not going to be able to touch up with blotting paper with this one. Let's try with powder. So going into our pressed velvet finishing powder, I'm just going to lightly dab this over the skin and see how that comes up. I mean, honestly, this powder just fixes anything. It's not a fair comparison. Gets rid of all the texture, all of the oil. Oh my God, it literally looks brand new again. This is the kind of result I want to see. This powder is a game changer for touching up your foundation. Like, if you want it to look freshly applied again, all you have to do is run over it with this. I mean, I'm really happy with how it's looking now. It's touched up. I'm not hating it anywhere near as much. And I think maybe because it is such a glowy formula, it's like it's just molding back into my skin and looking really perfected again. Ooh, okay, very interesting results today. On one hand, I'm like, not really a fan. But then on the other hand, I'm like, ooh, actually, this isn't so bad. I am going to continue testing this out. I'm going to try mixing it with some other foundations to see how that goes. I'm also going to try wearing it with a mattifying primer. I did not wear my normal mattifying primer today. And I'm going to try setting it in different ways and just sort of seeing how we can get this to work. Because based on these results now that it's touched up, it looks freaking perfect again. And so I'm like, I see you. I'm intrigued. I will say definitely I far prefer this formula over the original Balm. This for me, not a chance am I ever able to wear that. But this I could definitely wear, and especially as like a day-to-day formula, you know, when you're just wanting something really natural and glowy on the skin. I'm intrigued. I would love to know, as always, have you guys tried this foundation? What did you think of it on your skin? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you see similar results to me? And what other foundations would you like me to mix it with? Or are you interested in seeing me mix it with? I've got a couple in mind, like Estee Lauder Double Wear. I feel like this and Double Wear together. As always, if you've got any questions about anything that you've seen here today, please be sure to pop them down in the comments below. I'm always here to answer your questions whenever you need me to. And I hope that you found it helpful. I love you guys heaps. I hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.